What is up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of my hip hop review. Before I start, I want to give a few rest in peace. I want to say rest in peace to Miss Janae Dubois. Janae Dubois, you guys have probably heard that name before. She played Walona from Good Times and stuff like that. I've talked about Good Times in the past with Mike Sears and stuff like that. You know what I'm saying? So if y'all want to know what I feel about that show, just go type in Good Times on my channel. It'll pop up. But yeah, Janae Dubois, she played with Lona from Good Times and stuff like that. She was an accomplished Broadway singer, Broadway actress, singer, dancer, and stuff like that. Her voice might sound familiar to some because, she appeared on Broadway's Golden Boy with Sammy Davis Jr. and Lou Gossett Jr. She also sang the theme song to the Jeffersons too. Like moving on up. That was her. What else? What else? What else? In the '80s, she dropped an album called Again Janae Dubois and stuff like that on her own Peanuts and Caviar label in '83, and that album was pretty much only released in Brazil only and stuff like that. So yeah, that's very. I heard one song. Shout out to the YouTube channel Real Black because they uploaded one song from her, and I was like, okay, this shit kind of funky and stuff like that. What else about Janet Dubois? She appeared on Janet Jackson's Control music video where she played Janet Jackson's mother. Um, Ironically, Janet Jackson, she played Penny off Good Times, and Walona adopted Penny. That was around the time when Esther Roll and John Amos had left the show. Um, and they still had they were very close friends until like the day that Dubois died and stuff like that and stuff. So, and Janet Dubois, she had her own academy, her own theater arts company called Janae Dubois Academy of Theater Arts and Sciences, and she also co-founded the Pan African Film and Arts Festival with Danny Glover and Ayuku Babu. And finally, if you guys are my contemporary artists, like she played the grandmother from the Wayans brothers and stuff like that, and she also done some voice work on the Eddie Murphy show, The PJs, which actually won 2 Emmys too. So, and it's kind of ironic too because just like a couple weeks ago, Good Times celebrated its anniversary, and I saw that all the cast got back. Well, of course, everybody except for Esther Roll, who of course died in '98. Rest in peace, Esther Roll. But all the cast got back together. Also, ironically too, that they're interviewing Vlad TV is interviewing John Amos and shit too. Well, Lunel is interviewing John Amos on Vlad TV. Yeah, rest in peace to Janae Dubois. She died in her sleep on February 17th. And finally, I also want to give a rest in peace to the young rapper that tragically lost his life, Mr. Pop Smoke himself. Um, yeah, I'm not really too familiar with his music, so yeah, I'm just gonna say what I know about him. And he died when he got killed in a home invasion at the age of 20. Cause I just heard about this like this morning. Pop Smoke basically was like a rising hip hop star from Brooklyn, New York. He had a breakout single in April called "Welcome to the Party," when his debut mixtape called "Meet the Rule" came out and shit like that. And also with the success of "Welcome to the Party," he collaborated with plenty of artists like Travis Scott, Lil TJ, and several people have remixed "Welcome to the Party," like Nicki Minaj, of course. He dropped a second mixtape called "Welcome Meet the Rule 2," which yeah, that was ironically he released that of this month and shit like that too. So yeah, man. And what's crazy about this shit too was the fact that I was reading that he actually posted his address. He actually posted his address on Instagram or some shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And I just wish his family. I just wish his family would do well and stuff like that. All bless his family and stuff like that as y'all going through this loss. R.I.P. to Mr. Pop Smoke. R.I.P. to Pop Smoke. I'm definitely gonna peep out his mixtape just to see, just to have a glimpse of what his music is about, though. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah. And yeah, now when I start this review, I actually am redoing this review because originally I filmed the review days ago, but I didn't like the way it came out, so that's why. And ironically, I was, ironically, I was gonna do it yesterday because yesterday was Dr. Dre's birthday. Hence why the album I'm gonna talk about. Dr. Dre presents the Aftermath. This was released in 1996 on Aftermath under Interscope Records. This was actually the first release that was released on Aftermath. The first release. A lot of people want to say, Slim Shady LP, which I'm gonna explain all of that in a minute. Yeah, Dr. Dre. This is not a studio album. It's more like a compilation. It's more like a compilation, appetizer, teaser, off the, at that time, the current roster of Aftermath Records. Alright, singles the album is known for, it only came out with 3 singles: East Coast, West Coast Killers, Been There, Done That, and I will also say Please with Maurice Wilcher. Alright, and producers include Dr. Dre and Buddha. Guest appearances include RC, Sid McCoy, the supergroup Group Therapy, which consists of KRS-One, Nas, Be Real, REX, and Scarface, the Mel-Man, Hands On, Diva, Roger Troutman, of course Dr. Dre, Kim Summerson, Cassandra McCowan, Mike Lynn, Frosty P, Scooby Doo, Hands On, King T, a motherfucking West Coast legend, Maurice Wilcher, Nicole Johnson, Gerald Lockhart, Who's Who, yeah. Alright, so after the release of The Chronic in 1992, which was the last Dr. Dre album I talked about, he didn't waste no time, as he was working on Snoop Dogg's debut album, Doggy Style, which came out like the next year, 93. Both The Chronic and Doggy Style definitely put Death Row on the map. But also around this time too, he was pretty much kind of like getting in trouble with the law around this time too, because he actually pleaded guilty in a case of battery of a cop that happened like in 92, not 92, not 91, and shit like that too. And then fast forward to 94. Fast forward to 94 was a very interesting year, because aside from, working on like the Murder Was the Case soundtrack, the Above the Rim soundtrack, he was also working on these like produced from Pittsburgh, like Slam Sneed, Buddha, Scooby Doo, and Mel-Man. And his production around this time got like more darker, more synth heavy and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Don't believe me? Check out the Murder Was the Case soundtrack, and you'll definitely get an idea of what I'm talking about and shit. And also that year, 94, he was sentenced to 8 months in prison because he had the infamous car chase where he was kind of like under the influence of alcohol and shit like that. And after he came out, his work with Death Row kind of slowly devolved and shit like that, because he didn't like the direction they were going to, how corrupt Suge Knight was. And originally in 95, he was supposed to have came out with the original Chronic 2, called Chronic 2, Papa's Got a Brand New Bag. And singles like, also in 94 too, he was originally supposed to have came out with the sorry about that. But yeah, after that, he was supposed to have came out with an album with Ice Cube called Helter Skelter, which the song Natural Born Killers that was on the Murder Was the Case soundtrack, that was originally supposed to be like the lead single off that album. However, I think due to like label politics, the album never came to fruition and shit, because with Ice Cube being under priority, and Dre, with Death Row Records being owned by Interscope, it really couldn't have happened and stuff like that. And stuff like that. And with that being said, also when it came to back to the Chronic's Papa's Got a Brand New Bag, certain songs was said to have been there, like Keep the Heads Ringing, which was on the Friday soundtrack. That was supposed to have been on that album. And best known, the original version of California Love. Because not a lot of people know this, but the California Love was originally a Dr. Dre solo track. But which should bring a Tupac to death row, he pretty much said, like a lot of artists, if you guys already had songs, make room for Tupac to have a verse on it. And of course, that's how the legendary California Love song came to fruition. And so, with Dre being, with Tupac being in death row and shit like that, and it's all the shit that was happening around that time, because it's no secret that Dre and Pac didn't really get along on occasion, according to sources. So Dre had left, Death Row Records around '96 and shit. You know what I'm saying? And so he had to give up the masters to the Chronic in order to leave and some other shit. And so Jimmy Iovine, approached him to talk about he wanted to give him his own label. And he just started telling in Dre. And so that's how this album came about. Aftermath. Dr. Dre presents the Aftermath. Yeah. And I put it in the zipper bag because I had accidentally cracked it a little bit, if y'all can see it. And it's crazy because I had recently just got this album, but I was doing some stupid shit. So, yeah. Alright, so pretty dope album cover, has the explosion and shit like that. Yeah, this is the album cover. This is just pictures of what you expect. Got motherfuckers like Mel-Man. You got RBX. Oh, and speaking of RBX, he actually didn't even sign a contract to Death Row Records, to be honest, because originally he had left Death Row, I want to say after the release of Doggy Style, because he had got into it with Dre, I think, over some royalties or some shit like that. I don't even know the whole story, but he came out with the RBX Files in '94, I want to say, which I need to get my hands on that album. And I think he was throwing some shots on Dre on that album, but they got back together with this project. You know what I'm saying? So, yeah, man. Cut the beef out. Here's Dre, Kim Summerson. That's my shit. Mel-Man. This is a fucking like miscellaneous group right here. This is Hands On. Of course, King T. Maurice Wilshire, Gerald Lockhart, RC, Who's Who and Sheriff, Noel, and like this is like the sole picture, like the aftermath in-house producers, which consists of Flossie P, Dr. Dre, of course, Glove, Scooby-Doo, and Buddha. Yeah. Alright. Oh man, okay, so where do I even begin with this album? Okay, so let's get this shit started. Track number 1, Aftermath, the intro. That song right there has RC and Sid McCoy. Pretty dope intro right there. Sid's over here dropping a verse while RC is just talking and stuff, you know what I'm saying? Has a very apocalyptic feel to it, which kind of fits on with the album. Track number 2, East Coast, West Coast Killers. That's performed by Group Therapy. Oh my god, this is probably like one of the most... And I'm gonna save that to the final thoughts of my review and shit. What the fuck's texting me? Okay, You just got home from work. Okay, God. Alright, I'm sorry about that. Everyone's trying to always text me when I'm trying to do a review. So, East Coast, West Coast Killers was part of the supergroup from Group Therapy. Like I said, which consists of Scarface, KRS-One, Nas, Be Real, and RBX. That was a pretty dope song. In my opinion, man, if I was to pick who had the best verses, I would say, damn, because they all, I want to say Be Real and KRS-One, with RBX not too far behind. And like I said, everybody did their thing with this track right here, you know what I'm saying? They were just all going in on this fucking track. Yeah, man. Track number 3, Shitting on the World. That's the Mel-Man track right there. This is probably like one of my favorite songs off this project. I love that sample that from the Fuzz. Like dan 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 dan. That shit go fucking hard, man. I love that sample. Track number Track number 4, Blunt Time. That's RBX featuring Roger Troutman and Dr. Dre. Yeah, that's a pretty straight song. That's fucking vintage Dre right there. Very dope. They're very, very, very dope track. RBX just has, like, in my opinion, one of the most dopest voices in hip hop history, in my opinion. Like, fucking dude right there has him and Lord Have Mercy from the Flip Mode Squad. Their voices are so fucking ill, especially with beats like this and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? So yeah. Next track, Been There, Done That, featuring Dr. Dre. This was like the first single off the project. There's actually 2 versions of this track. Too, because there's a video mix which is a lot more. In my opinion, I kind of prefer the video mix and shit like that. But the album version is not bad either. You know what I'm saying? It's pretty much Dr. Dre saying, "Oh, you know, I'm not doing that whole gangster lifestyle. I'm trying to evolve and shit like that. So been there, done that." Yeah, and I think originally, when it comes to this song on "Been There, Done That," basically it was originally a Buddha song, but Dr. Dre pretty much all eyes on me. That track right there. And there's actually some controversy because the verses that Dre was spitting was actually written by a death row artist by the name of J Flex, and he written a lot of famous Dre verses on Natural Born Killers, California Love, and Keep Their Heads Ringing. And so, you know, when Dre left Death Row Records, he made a diss track against Dre called Who Been There, Who Done That and shit. So, yeah, that's something to let you know. But very dope track right here. Then we get into Choices. That's with Kim Summerson. I love the usage of that Isaac Hayes sample. Yeah, she definitely did a thing on that one and shit like that. Next track, As the World Keeps Turning. You know, that's that song. That's another alright song and shit like that. You know, not really too crazy about that song like that, but the beat's decent. Track number 8, Got Me Open. That's Hands On featuring Dr. Dre. Vintage Dr. Dre right here. I love this fucking track. Just love to how that beat is and stuff. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, man. Very dope track right there. That's what's it called? Got Me Open. Yeah. Track number 9, Straight Gone. That's with King T. Yes. One of my favorite tracks off this project. King T, like I said, West Coast legend. I only have a full album, which I definitely gonna talk about that one day. But part of me really wished like he would have dropped that Aftermath album and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Cause I know my favorite album from King T is that For Life album that dropped in '95. Cause in my opinion, I feel like lyrically and production wise, that's his best album, bar none. I need to definitely talk about that album one day too. But yeah, man, like that whole King T, man, definitely a dope track right here. Please with Maurice Wiltshire. Yeah, I love that track. Nice beat right there. This is probably like the best, one of the best R&B songs off the album, next to the Kim Summer song Choices. And pretty much, for the rest of the track after Please, it's kind of hit or miss. Do for Love with Gerald Lockhart was cool. RC Sexy Dance, I love that track. Who's Who with No Second Chance. Sheriff with Law, Lyrical Assault Weapon, that was alright. And I did like the famous song by RC. Nation I was alright. So yeah. Sorry if I kind of half-assed those last couple of tracks right there, but I'm gonna talk about that. So, in my opinion, this is actually not a. I know a lot of people want to say give shit to this album because it's not The Chronic, it's not Doggy Style. Yeah, we get it, but that's the point. It's fucking Dre doing his own thing on Aftermath Record, and this is a very dope album. I will give you that. However, I do have to say the bad first. Now, when it comes to the bad off this album, I don't necessarily think this album is bad. However, I feel like there's a bit too much R&B songs, like a bit too many R&B songs. Which, I love R&B, I love R&B and soul, but especially coming from a Dr. Dre album, I kind of expected more. But it was not Marley Marl In Control Volume 2 bad. Let's just be thankful of that, because the beats is what really saved this album. Because the production, I love the production the most. It definitely has some of Dre's darkest beats, some of his best mixed beats, period. He definitely went in on this project and stuff like that when it comes to production and just finding like the good talent. However, the thing about this album is that majority of the people on this album never dropped an album on Aftermath Records and stuff. Well, either they did, but it just got shelved. Because even Dawn from En Vogue, she was originally had a solo deal on Aftermath Records. However, that didn't work out. That never came out. And also too, King T's Aftermath never came out. I know Rakim was supposed to have had an album. That they had creative differences. And hella artists, man, signed to Aftermath and then have that album not coming out. And also too, which also kind of a controversial thing about this album, he kind of cops flack, with incorporating like a lot of East Coast rappers and shit like that. Because if you guys should know, the Firm album came out on Aftermath Records, which y'all should know how I feel about that album. That's all I'm gonna say. And this was released around the height of the whole East Coast, West Coast beef. You know what I'm saying? So a lot of people kind of say that, oh well, he's pretty much, trying to be on the East Coast's dick and stuff like that. So that's just the way I see it. So yeah, man. But although this whole fucking album was just definitely in a quiet taste, if you're a fan of Dre, you should definitely peep this album out. You know what I'm saying? So this album, I want to say this album is out of print, but it's not expensive. So if you can find it, you must have it in your collection. And that's all the time I have. Make sure y'all subscribe to me on this channel. Follow me on Instagram. Follow me on MC Reg Music. Follow me on Twitter at RealReg1. Peace.